Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel today. My name is Christian and today we're here to talk about the new record from We Came as Romans. It is titled Cold Like War. This is the band's 5th studio record and the follow-up to their 2015 self-titled record. Now, I've been a pretty moderate fan of We Came as Romans for a few years now. Ever since I heard the song Hope, I really fell in love with them for a while and then kind of fell out of favor with them a little bit, and that was due to their last record, the self-titled one, which I thought was quite a step down from the things they'd done in the past. I've always considered We Came as Romans to be at the top of that Warped Tour metalcore ladder of bands, you know, bands like Beartooth, bands like Amity Affliction, all these, like, some really good bands, some really bad bands. I've always found We Came as Romans have been at the top of that, and that is because they are probably one of the more consistent bands in that scene other than that last self-titled record. So going into this one, honestly, I didn't have all that high an expectation, but I was hopeful because I really do like a lot of their songs and I wanted to like another full record again. And what I can say about this record is that it's pretty good. I enjoy a large amount of this record. There are a few duds peppered in throughout the record, but as a complete piece of work, I think it is pretty good. If you're wondering about the sound of this record, if you've listened to a We Came as Romans record before, then you kind of know what to expect. It's a classic We Came as Romans sound, but with some experimentations, particularly in the second half of the record. They would be in the songs Encoder, which reminds me a lot of something Enter Shikari would try out, and then also on the track Promise Me, which reminds me a lot of the sound that Bring Me the Horizon were going for on a track like Follow You from That's the Spirit. So there are a few experiments thrown in throughout the record, but for the most part it is that classic We Came as Romans sound. Something that's always separated We Came as Romans from a lot of the other bands in the warped metalcore scene is their lead clean vocalist, who for me, has a very unique and distinct sounding voice. He has a very unique tone, and that's something that's allowed We Came as Romans to sound unique while not really experimenting outside of the genre. So that's something that continues on this record. Of course, their screaming vocalist also does some clean vocals throughout the record, but for the most part it is that one clean singer who does a phenomenal job all the way throughout the record. He really knows how to write great melodies, and even within songs that aren't as good, his melodies are still on point. And to get more into the good parts of this record, I think the entire first half of this record is fantastic. I was halfway through this record thinking, my god, this is really good. I really hope it continues like that. Unfortunately, it doesn't. The second half really starts to go downhill, lose steam, and kind of drag along a little bit, and it's honestly where the experiments come in, where the record really turns sour, and that would be, of course, in the track Encoder, which, as I said, sounds like something Enter Shikari would try out, but on this track, it just doesn't work. The whole thing sounds messy, and you can tell it was something that experimented with for the first time because they just didn't pull it off. I don't think it suits the style of We Came as Romans, and so it was a cool experiment to try out. I appreciate them for trying something new, but overall I don't think that song is very strong at all. And then the other experimental song, Promise Me, reminds me too much of Bring Me the Horizon. I will say that after Bring Me brought out Sempiternal, you could have accused We Came as Romans as trying to ape that a little bit and trying to bring on that sound to them. So it's kind of a thing that they've done throughout their career, trying to take stuff that Bring Me have done and bring it into their sound. But on this song, Promise Me, it just doesn't work for me. It sounds way too much just like a top 40 pop song until some guitars come in at the end. So for me, it doesn't really work all that well. I also think the vocals sound very produced in that song, and I'm really not a big fan of that. I will say though that even though the second half of this record isn't all that great, Learning to Survive is a great way to close out the record, and so they did a really good job choosing that to close out the record. The chorus is absolutely massive, and as I said, that song really sums up what this entire record is, and so it was a great choice for the final track. Now to get into some more of the positives on this record, there is a 3-track run right at the start of this record, which is absolutely fantastic and actually had me going, wow, this could be a great record. And those 3 tracks would be Cold Like War, Lost in the Moment, and Two Hands. They're not in that order, but you know what I mean. Cold Like War was the first single released from this record, and on first listen, when it first came out, I thought it was okay, but within the context of this record, it really stands out as one of the better songs, and it's a great choice for a first single, as it's got great radio play that it can have. It's got a massive chorus. The screaming is on point, and so that's really one of the favorites on this record for me. My favorite track for me would definitely be Lost in the Moment. I really love the synth sound that they're using on that track. It sounds absolutely phenomenal and backs up the instrumentation perfectly. And not only that, the chorus is absolutely huge, and the synth continues in that chorus and really builds it to another level there as well. So for me, that's my favorite song on the entire record. And then Two Hands basically is just a straight up great We Came as Romans song with a massive chorus, and again is another highlight on this record. One of the worst songs on this record, in fact probably the worst song, is probably Wasted Age. It sounds like it's come from another record, because it seems like on that track the production just goes down the toilet. The vocals are way too loud. The guitars are all the way in the background. Sorry. And the screaming performance isn't all that great. I think the chorus is pretty good. It's got a nice melody to it. As I said, even in the bad songs, the clean singers' melodies are always on point. But the rest of the song just struggles to really engage me, and so that's a bit of a disappointment. There will be a few people that say that this kind of feels like the same record again from We Came as Romans. What I will say to that is, yeah, it sounds basically the same as every other We Came as Romans record, but after the last one, this is a massive step up in songwriting quality. So if you were kind of turned off of We Came as Romans on the last record, this will probably bring you back, save for those experimentations. It would be good to see on the next record, We Came as Romans, try out some new experimentations, maybe not the extreme ones that they tried on this one, but maybe just some more subtle things to give their songs something new. That would be very welcome. But overall, I think this record is really impressive from We Came as Romans. If you really like this band, I think you're going to love this record. If you're kind of a moderate fan, the first half of this record is definitely for you. And my top 3 tracks are going to be, as I said earlier in the review, Cold Like War, Lost in the Moment, and Two Hands. Anyway, what did you guys think about the record? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Did you like the record? Did you not like the record? Let me know down below. We're here to have a conversation about music, so let's do that. But if you're just going to fill up the comment section with hate and insults, just know I'm going to read your comments and laugh at how pathetic your life is. Anyway, thanks for watching my video today, guys. Please hit subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time. Fresh Currents.